I'm planting hundreds of vegetable seeds in trash. I'm going to show you how for pennies on the dollar, you can grow healthy seedlings using stuff that usually gets thrown away. I'm going to talk about proper watering and care, and also how to prevent them from getting root bound and how to get awesome healthy seedlings every time. Every year, I primarily use these methods to start my vegetable gardens because it saves me money, I get the bang for the buck, and it works. As you probably know, the price of eggs can go up from time to time. So don't throw away the egg cartons because I'm going to show you how they're awesome for starting seeds. I'm going to start out with these plastic egg cartons, which are my favorite to use because you've got two options with these. Basically both sides. I'm going to take scissors, cut them down the middle here. After cutting it, I have the two sides. I have the one with the eggs, which, as you can imagine, little seeds are going to go in here. And I have this two-sided rectangle, which you might think, I'm not going to do anything with that. And yes, I am. Seeds need drainage too, so I'm going to poke holes in the bottom of these egg containers, like this. I'm doing it over a surface where I can see the holes, but you can also do this over like grass. And really one hole is fine and all that you need. And we are almost done. There we go. So now if I look on the bottom, you can see I've got the little holes there for the water to drain out, and that's all you need. You don't need any more than that. It's perfect. For this side, actually the same thing. I'm going to be bulk planting in this. So I'm just going to put a few holes around here. I got my holes. It's a little harder to see, but they're there. Today I'm planting some seeds that I've saved from previous seasons, and also some Johnny's Seeds varieties that I ordered that I'm really excited for. I'm going to start out with a bang with the Flambos. I've not seen these seeds in person, but I'm pretty excited because I know what they look like, I think. And they're super cool. Oh yes, as advertised. Look at those. Oh my gosh, those are so cool. Check out the texture on those. They're like zebraed, right? Pretty straightforward. I'm going to do a thin layer of soil here. This is just run-of-the-mill garden bed soil. You don't need to buy anything special when you're starting seeds, in my opinion. There's stuff that's probably better, but for the most part, it all works fine for me. It's pretty easy. I'm just dropping these in right now. And you're probably thinking, wait a minute, Garrett, that's really shallow. And it is really shallow. The roots aren't going to go very far, but they don't need to with what I'm doing. I'm starting seeds. So then after I have them in there, I'm just going to really load the dirt in here now. There we go. Give it a little shake, see where I'm at, where I might need more. All right, I like where that's at. And those are ready to go. I like to use this rectangle with two squares for mass planting. What I'm going to do is put some soil in there. I'm going to shake it, I'm going to flatten it. I just kind of need like a layer that's like a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch there. So then what I'm going to do is just sprinkle in a bunch of Kentucky Wonder pole beans. I'm going to need a ton of these. I'm going to build my own man cave with these pole beans. It's going to be really fun. Then I just cover them up, same deal. And I know you're like, Garrett, you're packing those in, those are too close together. Well, no, I'm gonna pull them out before they get root bound. All right, we're set, looks good. One thing I want to mention that you think would be common sense, but not for everyone, is label your seeds. Don't get them mixed up. I've done it before, and it is not fun. I'm not the biggest fan of these compostable egg cartons. They're made out of recycled paper, but this material is not ideal for starting seeds. More on this coming up. I don't need the top side of this. Although starting seeds in these egg cartons is not ideal, I'm going to show you it can still work. I'm poking the holes in the bottom for drainage. Again, I'll add a thin layer of soil on the bottom. Next, I'll plant more Kentucky Wonder pole beans and then repeat the same process that I did with the plastic egg containers. I tend to be more generous when adding soil to these compostable egg containers. My next budget seed starting method is using old pill containers. I help take care of my grandfather, and as you might imagine, like many other older folks, he takes medications, and I have been saving these to help start my garden. For these old pill bottles to be effective seed starters, you'll still need to put a hole in the bottom for drainage. The easiest method for me is using a drill. Like that. You can also use a hammer and a nail if you don't have a drill handy. So just hammer, nail, the nail goes in, pull it out. There we go, you've got your hole there. Sometimes though, the hammer technique can crack the plastic, so I recommend using a drill if you have one. Next, I filled up the pill containers with soil just below the top of the container. I'm planting Swiss chard bright lights in these pill bottles. My friend who used to own a lettuce farm hooked me up with these seeds, and I'm excited to try them. Swiss chard grows really well together, and I'm going to make colorful creations by planting different seeds in each one of these pill bottles. I push the seeds down a bit, then top them off with soil and tap them down to, again, around a ½ inch on the top. That way I have enough room for water to go down in there and not overflow the soil out. If you've ever had leftovers or ordered to go somewhere, you've probably ended up with a box like this. And these are actually really good for starting seeds. Like the egg cartons, I cut the to-go boxes in half. Again, you gotta poke holes in the bottom to have that good drainage. Then sprinkle a layer of dirt in the bottom of the containers, somewhere around a ½ inch. I'm planting some Trilogy bush beans. These beans come in 3 different colors, yellow, green, and purple. And what's really cool is even the seeds are different colors, so I can kind of see what's what. Again, I'm bulk planting in the top side of these to-go boxes. What's great about this seed starting method is that I can use the different compartments from the bottom of the to-go box for different types of plants, which helps keep things more organized. I planted some different varieties of squash and some red noodle pole beans I'm growing for the first time. Next, I cover the seeds with around a ½ inch of soil. I've planted all of my seeds in the different containers, and as you can see here, I actually already have some egg containers going with some snap peas. Before you pick your location to start your seeds, it's crucial to consider a few factors. The first is light. This is where so many people I know have gone wrong when starting seeds. For me, starting seeds outdoors is the easiest when it comes to getting my seeds light. Plus, the sun is free. When I'm starting my seeds outdoors, I usually start them in an area that only gets a couple hours of direct sunlight each day. And as the seeds pop up and turn into seedlings, I gradually move them around to expose them to more sunlight for more hours out of the day. But you gotta be careful, they don't dry out. When you're starting seeds indoors, there's a couple different options. One is just plant them, let them germinate and pop up, like I did with these. When seeds are germinating, they don't need a bunch of light. Only after they start to pop up do you want to get them some light, otherwise they're gonna stretch out and get all funky looking. The second method is to invest in a grow light. For some people, their circumstances, whether it's temperature, living situation, whatever it may be, a grow light is a good option for them. Me, I'm all about saving money and figuring out how to not buy a grow light. Another factor that people tend to overlook is temperature. Temperature is really important to germinate seeds. Most seeds will germinate just fine at 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius. But I find that the higher you go, up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees Celsius, will speed up the germination overall. If your temperatures are too cold, the seeds might not germinate or they just take a very long time. Now let's talk about watering your seeds. It's a pretty simple process. If you're growing your seeds outdoors, I usually use the mist or shower function on a hose. It works great. I just have to make sure I don't overflow the container. If you're starting seeds indoors, I like to use a spray bottle. It doesn't make a mess. Might take a little bit longer, but it's going to be very accurate. One of my favorite things about these plastic egg containers is that I can actually see the moisture level because it's clear plastic. And I can check the progress because you can see the roots of the seedlings as they go. It's been exactly 2 weeks since I started my seeds, and as you can see, it's going really well. As usual, I had a great propagation rate using these 3 seed starting techniques. The compostable egg container seedlings still sprouted, but weren't quite as healthy. The issue is that the recycled paper material will absorb water from the soil and dry the seedlings out much faster, which is why I recommend choosing the plastic containers. One thing to keep in mind when bulk planting is maybe don't let the seedlings get too big. If you do, you'll spend some extra time separating each plant because the roots can get pretty tangled up. This isn't the biggest problem, but takes a little extra time and patience. The pill containers worked like a charm. I ended up getting 100% germination on the Swiss Chard Bright Lights. I can already see the awesome colors of these plants. My seedlings in the to-go containers were super healthy, and I was very happy with the results. Once my seedlings are ready to plant, I have 2 options. The first is transplanting them into a larger container or pot. This method is great because it can give you flexibility if you have a busy schedule or still have to get garden beds or pots ready for planting. For instance, these block party winter squash plants will be fine in these small pots for at least a couple more weeks. The other option is planting the seedlings directly into their long-term home. These flambeau beans are going to love this shallow pot that gets plenty of sun in my backyard. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching and happy planting.